criminology continues rising at record pace. At the present rate of killing, the number of homicides by year's end will total 150.
Ghetto, it's rough. It's rough being a teenager.
Well, if you don't have a gun, I guess you don't have any status, you don't have any powers.
17 times. He was only 17 or 18 years old.
It's that pitter-patter of the brain on the windowsill.
We'll get so sick and tired of all the people dying, all the violence.
Boston police detective, people who live here say they heard 4 shots last night.
Because I'm always hearing gunshots every day.
So all the people that work with me and everybody gets scared.
I think it's time to move.
So many people in this town have died. So many faces that I knew were staffed for suicide. Why we acting like that's nothing? We got a vigil for our homie every month.
I'm Ryanstorm, and this is Mattapan.
Tell me, why am I sad on the weekend? I'm hoping cause I quit the Nick, like lately I'm just breathing.
Mattapan is definitely Boston's most segregated neighborhood, being the only neighborhood in the city that is still today dominated predominantly by one race or national origin.
The West Indian community makes up most of Mattapan.
It's like a Caribbean, West Indian type of area.
You got your Black Americans, you got the Haitians.
Haitian, African.
Some Latinos. Latinos are slowly but surely coming into the Mattapan area now too. It's a good mix.
The name Mattapan likely came from the Native American Massachusetts tribe, who named it for the Neponset River, the word Mattapu meaning he sit down. You ask people about Mattapan and you're probably gonna hear the same thing. Murderpan. But not that many people actually go to Mattapan itself, walk around, and see what the neighborhood actually has to offer.
I could be downtown and Mattapan would come up and they say, oh, you mean Murderpan? You know, that really it hits you hard. It's like, damn, that's how they think of us up in Mattapan.
The news likes to show what sells, I should say.
Maybe every now and again you'll get some crime. That's about it.
You would hear about murders, you would hear about drug dealers, you would hear about the worst things because that's what sells.
15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, that's what was going on.
And when there's something positive, it's mainly inner city, you know? It's never really in the local Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury.
We put a lot of our faith in the news and tend to let statistics steer our perception. But today we're actually going to take the time to walk around and see what there is to see. For starters, you guys know how I am with public parks and public spaces, and Mattapan, it's got a lot of really nice hidden gems. I mean, it's January right now and all the plants are, kind of dead, but you can't tell me there isn't something inherently cool about the Neponset River Trail. There's also the Mass Audubon Nature Conservatory, located on the opposite end of the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, no, it's nice. Ever since they redid this park.
I didn't even know this was here.
It was beautiful.
Oh, it's gonna look way nicer in the summer.
On Instagram, there's like a jump rope community of like all of us who started over quarantine, and I do like a couple ambassadorships just for people who want to purchase jump ropes or anything. So it's Jamin Brax, JAMINBRAX. I'm only on Instagram, but my sister keeps trying to get me into like TikTok and other stuff.
That would probably do like wicked good on TikTok too. No, that was so cool. And the food scene here is fascinating and diverse, but I think it's better to show than tell.
Gotcha. All right. I look like a duck from this thing.
I've been going to Simcoe over 30 years now. I grew up in Medford. My father used to bring us here, so I guess it made probably back in the 40s. I usually get a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger?
But today I'm getting a fish sandwich.
Fish sandwich.
Yeah, I got a craving for that.
Fried fish or grilled fish?
Oh, I didn't ask. As long as it's fish, I don't care if it got bones in it either, you know?
You know, I wanted to come back and be like, look at how big the hot dog was, but then like your bag of food is like twice the size of the hot dog. This is the hot dog, which is very long. This is your food. I just want to emphasize exactly how long. In the widescreen aspect ratio, this would take up the entire shot. Like, this would actually be a whole shot. Like, right here, it would be a whole shot for a widescreen.
Just up the way is one of the only places in Boston you can get African food at Safari Africa.
time ever having African food, actually. That's okra and lamb. So take out that lamb. Oh my god, look at that steak. Let me give this a big bite. Probably eat so good. That's really good food. That's just genuinely good food.
Jump over to Morton Street, and I'm here with my camera boy Zornok at Paloma Nigerian Cuisine, a new startup serving buffet-style Nigerian food.
I'm actually going to try to incorporate some other food into it as time goes, but right now it's basically Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria.
How involved are you at the restaurant here as the manager?
100%.
It seems like it.
I feel really good to be in a position whereby I feel like I'm actually giving. I don't feel like I'm doing business. I feel like I'm giving. So to be in the such position is fulfilling.
And what'd you get specifically?
The ofada sauce.
Ofada sauce. What is that?
It's a hot meat sauce. Good, very spicy, very good. You want to try it, bud?
Yes, please.
I've been here my whole life. I started at 14. My grandfather and his brother, those were the original owners. And then it became to my mother and her brother. And then it was supposed to be going down to my brother and me. We have all different kinds of people. We never looked at color or anything like that because I wasn't brought up like that. I was brought up, treat everybody the way that you want to be treated. My mother always said that to me. About 2 years ago, we were doing breakfast, lunch, and dinners. Springtime, we're going to actually start doing some more things. We're going to start bringing back some dinners because a lot of the people that are in this community miss our food because they grew up on it. Breakfast-wise, we're still booming.
And I gotta try the sandwich from Brothers. Gotta try the pastrami sandwich. Look at this beast. Look at this absolute beast. Oh, the pickle. Yeah, that's awesome.
When I heard Tom Brady, that's how he stayed healthy. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, I gotta start doing avocados, man. He played in the league for 20 years, 22 years, right?
Yeah. A lot of the restaurant owners feel like they're contributing to the community in the way that they're able to provide food and everything to people and feed people. How do you feel as a gas station? How do you feel that provides to the community?
Oh, you kidding me? We do more than just sell gas here. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Literally never closed in 30 years. I've seen kids come in to get breakfast in the morning. Those same kids, I see them 20 years later coming in with their kids. It's amazing, man, you know? You can ask anybody that's from this neighborhood about the mobile in Mattapan Square, and that's what we're called, the mobile. Now that we have the smoothie shop open, that's even a bigger deal because now we're able to give everybody in the community something healthy. There's really not a lot you can say about that.
Gotta try this smoothie. So good. Little chunks of pineapple and mango on the top, so you get like a little bit of texture in there. This is actually like one of the best smoothies I've had. Let's say that again in focus. This is actually one of the best smoothies I've had.
Also, off in the corners are two shack-looking barbecue places that look like they were pulled straight out of the South.
My artwork is mainly for communication, really helping people understand who I am exactly through these pieces. Because I'm not able to say it myself sometimes. Sometimes you're not able to say or express anything that you really want to, due to the fact of the environment that we're in this world, you know? Being an artist, specifically for me being a creator, is ideal when it comes to being labeled so much. Sometimes I could stay up all night just thinking about what I will create, and then once I create it, it takes minutes to an hour to actually create that piece. It's paint markers, acrylic paint, oil, fire. I use
really fire.
I like to burn my canvases sometimes. I'll scratch them up, express as much as I can. I like to be as discreet as possible, so I end up buying cars. I actually stopped using public transit. There was a time where I took it a lot, and that's when I was doing graffiti. It was always train and trolley. I didn't really like to take the bus.
I don't either. Motion sickness for me.
Yeah.
Mattapan is connected by the MBTA transit system, but in kind of a weird way. There are future plans for bike trails and bus-exclusive routes on Blue Hill Ave, all the way to a major terminal at Nubian Square in Roxbury. However, as of the time of me being there, they had yet to be implemented. Mattapan doesn't actually have a direct subway line. It does, however, have, of all things, a trolley from the 1930s. Not to mention, the trolley doesn't actually connect to a central part of Boston. Rather, it offers a connection to the Red Line to get into the main part of the city at Ashmont Station in South Dorchester.
And you're waiting for the train right now? now?
Yep.
And how long have you been waiting?
About 5-6 minutes.
6 minutes,
Yep.
okay.
It's right here.
It's finally coming. We've been... Wait, is it leaving? Oh, they're towing it. I'll start from the top, I guess.
Right.
So how long have you been waiting for the trolley to show up?
6, 7, I don't even...
Where are you off to?
I'm off to Northeastern. I've been in Boston now for about 7 years.
Do you find the Mattapan trolley to be like fairly reliable?
Yeah, fairly reliable. Been able to take it where I need to go. Whenever I plan my trip, like, it's always fine. This is the first time I'm actually standing here longer than the time that I planned.
I usually took the train from here all the way to Alewife and back sometimes. Sometimes I would take the commuter rail and ride that all the way up to Rhode Island, I think.
Yeah, all the way to Providence.
Yep.
Mattapan's main train is, oddly enough, the Purple Line commuter rail, which goes on a very specific section of the track that only services Boston, going from South Station to Reedville.
This runs less frequently than a subway line does, but still does provide quick and convenient mass transit through the neighborhood to the heart of Boston.
Which unfortunately brings us to Mattapan's first issue. If you haven't figured it out already, this place is majorly ignored by Boston at large.
In a city like Boston, one of the most historic and also currently a capital of medical and technical advancements, it's almost embarrassing for us to have a trolley from the 1930s and the commuter rail of all things be the primary mode of transportation within the city limits themselves. The MBTA at large does a very inconsistent job of providing service to neighborhoods in Boston. Neighborhoods like Mattapan, Roxbury, Dorchester, and Allston or Charlestown end up being sort of neglected in the grand scheme of things.
And sure, there are buses with plans for future bus lanes, but for the time being, buses will just get stuck in traffic, and, you know, there's a reason they call mass holes. We are not polite on the road, my friend.
You guys rolling? Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, pal, you dumb You got a green light. Jesus.
Tell Mrs. News.
But if you add train stops here, that actually creates a whole new issue. Transit stations that are meant to increase accessibility for working class people actually cost a lot more to live next to. Regardless of the actual condition or area of the apartment you're living in, landlords will always charge more for the convenience of living next to a train stop. Mattapan's real estate is anything but saintly as well. Did I ever tell you what blockbusting was? Blockbusting is a real estate practice where agents would intentionally segregate neighborhoods, taking advantage of the concurrent racism to consolidate their market and increase their net profit. Agents would go to white and potentially racist homeowners and tell them that the property value will be decreased because of black residents moving in. This would create panic amongst homeowners and cause them to sell their house to the agents at a largely decreased price. The agent would then resell the house to a black resident at a largely inflated price, and then use this new black resident as evidence to other white homeowners that black people are moving in and their property value will go down. Mattapan used to be a Jewish neighborhood before this happened and turned it into a predominantly black neighborhood. This actually occurred all over the country in the 1950s and 60s and is known as white flight.
Dorchester was kind of, when I first moved into the Common Square area, it was almost predominantly white, and then slowly but surely whites started moving out. They started hitting themselves like down towards the South Shore, and then everyone on their property, they just gave them all up. They just left.
This in turn gave way to a practice known as redlining, a method by which lenders would actually deny loans to poorer communities deemed as in the red. So, if someone from a less wealthy overall community like Mattapan wished to get a loan for a future investment, they'd be denied, not on the basis of their own financial status, but because they lived in a poor neighborhood.
At one point, Mattapan Square, which was predominantly black, was considered the first lower middle class black community in Boston because people started buying property.
Residents tricked into buying overpriced properties were now left trapped and struggling behind wealthier or up-and-coming neighbors. Practices like redlining didn't just affect the individual, they trickled to the whole neighborhood. It was suddenly harder to get backing for public schools, parks and rec, construction projects, or general sanitation. Although real estate ethics codes today are significantly stricter, Massachusetts in particular having some of the strictest in the entire country, the after effects of the 1950s 50s and 60s are still felt in Mattapan today. As I've said, this is one of the most segregated neighborhoods in all of Boston. Mattapan today has a reputation as a murder capital, but that reputation doesn't exactly feel earned to me from what I've seen while I was here. How did Mattapan earn the reputation that it did?
Which reputation is that?
The Murder Pan.
Murder Pan. I know all about it.
The reputation of Mattapan, you know, it is better than what it seems.
So at one time, there were a lot of gangs in the area. A lot of young kids were coming up and they were all involved in gangs. Because of the gangs, there was a lot of killings going on, a lot of shootings, a lot of muggings, a lot of crime.
There was a lot of people in the street and a lot of dealers. There was a time that you wouldn't be able to walk down the streets as the sun goes down. And my mother always said to me when I was growing up, can't be down there after the sun goes down. And if you're gonna go, make sure you're inside the store and make sure, you know, you're well protected. As now, I can bring my daughter down here at that time.
The murder rate had gotten really high at one point, and that's where it got its name from.
What year would you say that originated?
This was right around the time we first came in here, which was right around 1990.
Okay.
So 1990 until about 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
But as the time went on, it's more than, I would say, 80% gone. The homeless, they're taken care of. There's a few homeless, but it's not anywhere nearly. I'm talking about there was 20 homeless people out there. We're closed.
Pregnant and he said, F you.
Thank you. Thank you. Isn't that great people sometimes?
What do you think helped deter that? Because it's not like, it doesn't feel like it's like that now.
Because you got big companies that came in and started investing. ExxonMobil came in. This station was closed when we came in. So that's how bad it was around here. They kind of came in, refurbished the location, kind of the first ones to start investing.
Definitely I've seen the community evolve over time. And, you know, I'm not only 32 years old. You've seen so much of the community change, buildings change, but it's all for the better. They're putting in a huge building right behind us, actually, 180 units.
Another one over here by the new train station.
That's a new station?
On Cummins Ave, yeah, because it was closed. It used to just go right by it.
The Blue Hill Ave station?
That's what they call it.
Okay, I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was a new station.
There's an apartment building going up just behind it. It's going to be about 300 units, if I'm not mistaken. With these two complexes going up, that's going to bring a lot of new people into the community.
And new fans of your smoothies.
Absolutely. Smoothies and the gas.
Exactly. They need both.
Everybody got a car.
We can't wait for that. It's going to be new faces, new everything like that. That gets me excited.
The new health center went up over here where the state dropped another $60 million to put that building up. They closed down the 2 bars that were here.
There were bars here.
There was 2 bars here. So that kind of deterred a lot of it. It moved a lot of that stuff away.
The community is very involved in their community. Anything that is going on, you have to run it by them to make sure that it's fine.
When you start owning your own property, you have a different mentality on your community. So it's not just about you, it's about your community now. Like the West Indians, when they came in, they had that mentality. They came in buying their properties. They weren't coming in and renting it. So that's what started it. Once you start owning your own stuff and you don't have to depend on somebody for your survival, your whole mindset changes.
The marijuana dispensary wanted to come down the street. They had to get signatures from each stating business and to find other signatures to other people to make sure it's okay in their neighborhood to have these certain things.
Ben Menino, he started what they call the Main Street program, but it's a non-for-profit the city put into the communities to help the businesses flourish, help the business community flourish. It's a combination of things that did it. Like I said, once the health center went in over there, that really made a big difference. And getting rid of the bars. All that hanging out all night, and the drinking, and the drugs and all that. A lot of that stopped when those bars left the area.
Boston Police have done beautiful things for us. From 77, we've been broken in once. We're the only store in Mattapan that doesn't have metal drapes that go over their store. I had big glass windows, you can break them and walk right in.
When you came in, you said Mattapan. That was really a big deal. When I first sat on the board of Main Street, so we would have our Main Street meetings, president of the board at the time, CEO of the health center across the street, Dr. Young, she hated that term. And she knew everybody. She knew the governor, she knew the mayor, President Obama, Michelle Obama, she knew everybody. And when people referred to Mattapan as Mattapan, it really, really bothered her a lot. Let's just say it bothered her a lot. And she had it in her mind to change that, you know? And we used the Main Street program to do that. The gangs, they took pride in that, you know? They loved it.
Of course.
Yeah, we're from Mattapan. I was a kid one time and I knew how that was. Us adults and business owners and property owners, we hated it. But what can you do?
Yeah.
You know? You gotta, like you said, you gotta change it. You gotta change the mentality.
Yeah.
Change the way people think about it, starting with the kids because they're the ones that named it.
Yeah. Do you feel like Mattapan is a religious community?
Yes, in ways.
Yes. Now it is.
It is a very spiritual place. We all are over here.
Part of the reason why I say that is because Mattapan has to be at least 50% Haitian, and Haitian people are very religious.
We are very kind of like diverted into that.
A lot of things that come with that culture, essentially.
Exactly.
You know, and we have churches all throughout Mattapan. So yeah, in that sense, it is a very religious community.
It's like when I'm cashing out my customers, I say God bless to everybody.
And do you feel like a religion has positively impacted Mattapan as it's gone forward?
Absolutely.
It's definitely helped the community out huge.
The kids were influenced by it. We used to have a Catholic school right over here that's closed now. But a lot of the kids went to that school and they were influenced by the religion. And like I said, the Haitian community, they're very religious anyway, so very influenced.
Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with it.
We all have certain issues. Every family, every person has their own set of issues. Maybe greater, maybe less. But with God, we will get through anything that we have in front of us.
So I actually go by the Rastafari lifestyle, but I am self-religious. This is my temple, and what I create is my gospel.
How would you define the Rastafarian lifestyle, actually?
Basically, it just has to do with eating right, staying true to yourself, living in harmony and prosperity. Never try to dwell in that negative realm.
We don't have, thank you. If we don't have a religion, there's no faith. Different problems and different situations for everybody. If you don't have faith, it's so hard to get through these things. As long as you put your faith in the right person and you put your faith into God, that is something, of course, my love. Have a great and blessed day.
You go to one of these funerals where that young person is shot and brutally killed, and it'll break your heart. Your heart will bleed. And even though I may not remember the names, I remember the feelings. And my heart is broken many times, and I want the hearts of the people who are watching and listening to break. If your child comes home with $250 and they don't have a job, you need to question why. Instead of taking that money to buy groceries, you need to tell your child, if that's drug money, that drug money cannot come in my house. I expect in 1991, we will get so sick and tired of all the people dying and all the violence rampant in our community that the people are really going to mobilize and they're going to turn to God, and the church is going to play a more prominent role in the community. And I think a lot of things are going to change.
Come on, what you gonna do?
I'm going to.
All right.
It's not only to make a paycheck. Because if it was only to make a paycheck, you do half the amount of work and you get out of here, you don't care. When I get up in the morning, that's my incentive. That's what I get up and I feel. It means a lot to me. To make somebody's day, my uncle always said food goes a long way.
I sold you on the Instagram. They're like kind of bootleg looking Converse style.
Yeah, they'll really be custom now, man.
I'm super stoked for that. There's even already on one side there's like a little brown mark over there.
We'll make use of it.
You said I burned my canvases. Yes, it already has marks on it.
My wife and I was attending a ExxonMobil, what they call strategy meeting, where they invite the dealers all around the state. The area manager approached us and said, hey, we like what you guys are doing down there at Mattapan Square. What a great idea. What do you think about franchising it? This is what he said to me. What do you think about franchising it?
Where is home tonight? Where is home tonight?
When you cut people off from easy access to public transit and the broader job market of the big city, you cut people off from opportunity. They grow desperate and they struggle. When people grow desperate and struggle, they stop caring for their community. And with desperation and a lack of caring, crime goes up.
And all things considered, by the standards of an American city, this is still significantly safer than most other neighborhoods.
Mattapan's also a pretty small neighborhood, so statistics that could really only affect 1 or 2 blocks end up having horrible repercussions for the rest of the neighborhood. But this isn't a neighborhood of murderers waiting to jump you at every corner. This is a neighborhood of, albeit marginalized, people who have been stripped of opportunity.
Due to evolve at this point, bro, just keep doing more of what we've been doing. When me and Menino brought the Main Street program in, the goal was to enhance the businesses. Businesses here are not majority owned by the people living in the community. If we can get more people from the community to own more of these businesses, that will definitely make a difference.
Mattapan is fundamentally a good neighborhood, and it's fundamentally a good community. I've met nothing but nice people while I've been here. But it needs a bit more love, and it needs a bit more work. And if you're one of those people who is scared to venture into a neighborhood like Mattapan after dark, then, well, I got good news for you, buddy. The sun stays up until 8 in the summer.
See the world, love thy neighbor, and explore thy neighborhood. Get out of your own bubble, hop on the T, and discover something new with people who will probably go out of their way to be kind to you.
Elliot Johnson.
Nice to meet you, buddy. Nice to meet you. I'm Ryan.
Nice to meet you, Victoria.
Indigo.
Meet you again.
Call me Tremendo Jay.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
My name is Victor Thomas.
Hey, Victor. Nice to meet you.
Queen, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Queen. And I really like your food.
Thank you.
Ryan, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
I'm Ryanstorm, and that was Mattapan.